Hey YouTube, Kiratwig here, bringing you all an update to my Ojama Yugioh deck profile for January 2023. I wanted to update the Ojama deck. I always like to do so, kind of like a yearly thing, and I do feel like we could get some new Ojama support. There are so many cards from the anime that I feel like that are Chaz's cards. Ojama Mandala was one of them. That could just be made for the Ojamas at this point. We may even get a new Ojama monster. We had Ojama Pink in Blazing Vortex. I just feel another one, maybe even another extra deck monster, could definitely help with the deck overall. The playstyle just mostly focuses on being able to lock your opponent out of the extra deck, and then also being able just to not have them summon any monsters at all by just filling up their field with Ojama spots that make it so they can't be summoned on the field. And also, I wanted to update it because I don't know what's going to happen with Instant Fusion, but I did run Instant Fusion in the deck, so if the card is banned by the time this video comes out, I at least made a version that doesn't have it, but I can always show if you wanted to add it back in there in the meantime and what to play it with and what to take out for it. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So for the Ojama monsters, I'm running 3 Ojama Yellow, just the standard for the normal monsters. Having a good amount of them still gives you some extra deck access because we do run Link Spider, being able to summon out an Ojama into Link Spider and then get out one more Ojama monster that may be a normal monster from our hand. So 3 Ojama Yellow, 3 Ojama Black, and also the 3 Ojama Green, just so you have the standard lineup and plenty of them to work with for many of the different searches. And the fact that you can search them out with cards like Ojama Magic and special summon them back onto the field with cards like Tri White makes it all the easier to utilize in the deck. For the other Ojama monsters, I run 3 Ojama Blue. When it's destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can add 2 Ojama cards from your deck to your hand. So you can even just, crash Ojama Blue into one of your opponent's monsters and get that search, being able to search out many of the many different Ojama spells and traps that we run, including Ojama Country, just to set this up to disrupt your opponent's own play, switching the attack and defense, and giving you the special summon of an Ojama onto the field, and other cards like Ojama Duo to give you more of the token setup, but also giving you a card that can special summon 2 Ojama monsters with different names from your deck once it's set up in the graveyard. And I also run 3 Ojama Red. If you had plenty of the Ojama monsters to your hand, you can just use Ojama Red when it's normal summon to special summon those cards out onto the field as many in attack position. But even if they are in attack mode, if you have Ojama Country, the attack can be switched, making them, possibly stronger than some of the cards your opponent may have on their field. But most of the time, you're just going to use them for extra deck resources, being able to use the many different named Ojama monsters to go into cards like Appaloosa, or even make use of them to go into Saryuja to give you more draw power. The last of the monsters that we run in the main deck is just 2 Ojama Pink. Only running 2 of this card, it's more of a specific card and it can be searched out. If it's sent from the hand or field to the graveyard, you can activate this effect. Each player draws 1 card, then each player discards 1 card. Then if you discard an Ojama card, you can choose one of your opponent's unused monster zones and it cannot be used until the end of your opponent's turn. You can only use this effect of Ojama Pink once per turn, but you can use the discard to discard cards like Ojama Magic, and then also just give you more of a search off of those cards that you discarded. Only 2 though. If you wanted to try 3 Ojama Pink, you can always drop Red down to 2, since Red has to be a normal summon, but it's just player preference at that point. Now moving on to the spells, I run 3 Ojama Country once per turn. You can send 1 Ojama card from your hand to the graveyard to special summon 1 Ojama monster from your graveyard. While you control a face-up Ojama monster, switch the original attack and defense of all monsters on the field. So with this card, you can put your Ojama King or even your Ojama Knight to 2,500 and 3,000 attack points, swapping them, making them more of a powerhouse against your opponent, and even just utilizing the Ojama Country with cards like Ojama Emperor, giving this card 3,000 attack while it is in the field spell zone, since you can't swap the attack and defense of Link monsters since they don't have, defense to begin with. I also run the 3 Ojama Magic. Now with this card, when it is sent from the hand or field to the graveyard, add 1 of each Ojama Green, Ojama Yellow, and Ojama Black from your deck to your hand. This is just so you have all of those searches. You have to search out each of the 3 original Ojamas to use your Ojama Magic, so you want to have as many of those targets. That's why I'm also running 3 of each of the Ojamas in the deck, so you can have this card to use as a search power, being one of the discarded cards, and also just one of the cards that you could search out with Ojama Blue, and then discard it off Ojama Country, or even Ojama Pink. For more of the search power in the deck, I also run 3 Hand Destruction. This has always been a favorite of mine in the deck, just so you can discard some of the more worthless Ojama monsters in your hand, potentially get some of your other cards to your hand, or even be able to send cards like Ojama Magic and get more of a search off of that card as well. For more of the special summon power for the Ojamas, I also run 3 Tri-White. Target 3 level 2 or lower monsters in your graveyard, special summon them from the graveyard. So even if you just have 3 Ojama Yellow, or any of the same Ojamas, you just can special summon them onto the field, as long as it is 3 of them onto the field, and then special summon them from the graveyard, giving you more and more resources. Tri-White is not a once per turn, so if you have those resources used on the field, you can just activate another one and special summon even more resources back on the field to fill your field with many, many different monsters. And then for some of the lower numbers for these spells, I also run 2 Polymerization. I run 2 of this card because it is searchable. We are running Fusion Recycling Plant in the deck as well to be able to use this fusion play. And since we don't have the instant fusion in this build, we are relying on this card for our go-to fusion setup, being able to summon out Ojama King and cards like Ojama Knight much, much more easily with this card, thanks to it, and being able to search it out if we don't have Ojama Country in the field spell zone, then using cards like Fusion Recycling Plant to add this card from our deck to our hand, and then even giving us a monster recycle. For some of the other 2-ofs, I also run 2 copies of Foolish Burial Goods. This is to set up the Ojama duo in the graveyard, being able to, during either player's turn, to banish this card, and then specials to Ojamas. So if your opponent thinks they cleared your board, you can banish this card, and then get 2 more, potentially ones like Ojama Blue or Ojama Pink, and then have them go for the unused monster zone if they destroy it, or giving you a search off of the Ojama Blue if they want to attack into that card. Most of the time, you do want to activate cards like Ojama Duo during the battle phase, so they really can only choose to not attack your monster, or do so and take the risk of what you may search into. For some of the 1-ofs in the deck, I run 1 Ojama Delta Hurricane for the destruction power when you have Ojama Green, Ojama Yellow, and Ojama Black face up on the field. Destroying all cards in your opponent's side of the field is insane. If you have then Ojama Country on the field, that can just be more damage you inflict to your opponent. The 1 Fusion Recycling Plant for searching out the Polymerization. The Harpy's Feather Duster. This clears out back row if you go second, so then you have no fear aside from maybe some of the hand traps your opponent may run to try and stop any of your Ojama special summons. And then 1 Terraforming to search out either the Fusion Recycling Plant or the Ojama Country. And lastly for the spells, 1 Pot of Avarice. You will go through monsters pretty quickly, so if you need to recycle some of the extra deck monsters back to get a draw, this card definitely does help with that. And then for the traps, the only trap around the deck is the 2 Ojama Duo. Once again, you can just activate this card and get a search for the 2 Ojama tokens. You can send it off of cards like Hand Destruction for more draw power and graveyard setup, or even just a discard off of your Ojama Country since it is an Ojama card, and then you have it in the graveyard ready to go. And then that is it for the main deck. When I move on to the extra deck, I run 2 copies of Ojama King. You need 1 Ojama Green, Yellow, and Black to fusion summon this card. You select up to 3 of your opponent's monster card zones. As long as this card remains face up on the field, the selected zones cannot be used. So if you go first against your opponent and you're able to get out Ojama King and Ojama Knight, you could block off all of their monster zones, making it impossible for them to really do anything unless they can find a way to get rid of your Ojama monsters. So 2 King, just being able to unoccupy 3 zones, means they'll have to make use of their extra monster zone along with some of the zones they already have on the field. It's a powerhouse as well if you have Ojama Country, making it a 3,000 attack point monster. I thought of running Ojama Muscle in the deck. I just like Delta Hurricane so much more since you can destroy all cards on their field and really don't need the attack boost thanks to Ojama King. I also run the 2 copies of Ojama Knight, where Ojama Knight is better than Ojama King is for the fact that it just needs 2 Ojama monsters to make it. You select up to 2 of your opponent's monster zones, and they cannot be used. But what's great is you can use cards like Ojama Red, Ojama Blue, Ojama Pink, and you can make this card with those cards. You can have the original Ojamas be part of it as well, but it's just a more generic Ojama fusion monster to go into. And I also run, for the Link monsters, 2 copies of Ojama Emperor. You need 3 beast monsters, including an Ojama monster. While Ojama Country is in the field zone, this card gains 3,000 attack, also cannot be destroyed by card effects. Your opponent takes any battle damage you would have from attacks involving this card instead. You can target up to 1 non-Ojama Link monster in your graveyard, special summon it. Also, for the rest of this turn, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck except for fusion monsters. You can only use this effect of Ojama Emperor once per turn. So giving you that Ojama resource on the field just gives you more monsters monsters to be able to use to fusion summon out your other Ojamas, and being a 3,000 attack point monster, and so any damage your opponent would take with this card makes it all the more scary for them to attempt to swing into Ojama Emperor to begin with. And then you have all of this power with the fact that if you have Ojama Country on the field, you can either make him into a powerhouse and make it so he can get over a good majority of your opponent's other monsters. For the other Link monsters, I run one Link Spider just for the normal monster play that I spoke of before. Lena the Light Charmer, because the Ojama monsters are all light attributes, so you can easily use this and then take some other light resources from your opponent. One Nightmare Phoenix, and also one Barricade Board Blocker for the field spell Recycle. And then for the higher Link monsters, I run one Nightmare Unicorn, one Apollosa, and one Saryuja for the special summon draw power with Saryuja, the monster effect negation with Apollosa, since you just need 2 or more monsters with different names except for tokens, and Nightmare Unicorn being able to spin back any pesky cards your opponent may have. For the Xyz monsters, I run one Sky Cavalry Centaria for the bounce power that this card has, just needing 2 level 2 monsters, and the one number 64 Ronin Raccoon Sandayu for the token play, which can be used to get over a good majority of other bigger monsters your opponent may have if you don't have the Ojama Country to switch its attack and defense. As for some of the go-to plays in the deck, once again, we rely on the special summon power. I have the tri-white option, but also just being able to search out the Ojama cards with Ojama Magic. So if you have cards like your Hand Destruction, you do take the risk of setting up some cards in your opponent's graveyard as well using this card. But if you can set up some of the spell and traps in the graveyard, having Ojama Magic and then also Ojama Duo is just the added plus with this card. But even if you just send cards like Ojama Magic and one of the normal monster, Ojama monsters, as long as you have the additional search, you'll get the draw 2 off of the Hand Destruction, but then you'll also be able to activate the Ojama Magic, giving you your 3 Ojama monsters to your hand for you to use. If you were to draw in 2 with Hand Destruction, one of the more important Ojama cards, like let's say your Ojama Red, you could use Ojama Red to normal summon and then special summon out all 3 of the Ojama monsters. And then with that there, you have the access to either your Apollosa, which you use 4 different monsters with different names. This could be a 4 counter Apollosa right then and there. You could use the Saryuja to then draw into 4 cards, having the 4 monsters needed once again. You could even go for more of the standard play, being able to utilize the Polymerization to go into an Ojama monster. It all comes down to what you get off of your draw as well. You could even just use each Ojama individually for a Ronin Raccoon Sandayu, which can get you a token on the field. And then the Sky Cavalry having 2 Xyz plays. This could play around also depending on what your opponent may be using with both of these cards. But then you also have the play to realize that if you have these Ojama monsters on the field and you, instead of the normal monsters, set up the Ojama Duo for that play as well, you could go for the Link play, which could give you a 0 attack point Ojama Emperor, which could hit your opponent for some pretty big damage depending on what it swings into, but also being able to use this card in tandem with cards like Ojama Country. You could use all of your Ojama monsters for that play, or you can even go for the fusion play using your 2 Ojama monsters with your Polymerization to summon out your Ojama Knight. And then if you have cards like Ojama Country on the field, you can then use that additional search for Ojama Country, being able to discard another Ojama card and give you 1 more Ojama on the field for that shutdown of your Ojama Knight play. You have all this available to you, like I said before, so there's a lot you could potentially do in the Ojama deck. If you open up with just 2 of the Ojama normal monsters, you could even just normal summon the 1 Ojama and then go for the Link summon of your Link Spider, using Link Spider to then special summon out an additional Ojama monster onto the field. And what's also important about this is if you have cards like Ojama Country in your hand and you activate Ojama Country, you have to have an Ojama monster in your graveyard to begin with for the special summon. So using cards like Link Spider to at least link away the Ojama monster, giving you this monster on the field, which could special summon out another Ojama monster in your hand, but then will also give you the engine needed for Ojama Country to be able to discard something to have another target in the graveyard for you to special summon, giving you that additional Ojama monster to use and the other search that Ojama Magic will provide if this is the card you discard. If you don't discard that, there are other great targets like Ojama Duo, which then can be used the following turn as a banish to give you 2 special summons for Ojama monsters onto the field to block your opponent's attacks. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. Like I said, I always love updating the Ojama deck. We're definitely due for some support. I would love to see some new Ojama forms. If there are any specific ones that you would like to see as well, definitely comment down below. If there are any anime cards that Chaz used that you would like to see as well. I definitely would like to see Ojama Mandala at one point, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.